I just got to say, like, what a difference the quarterback makes. Obviously, the quarterback, most important position, in the NFL, clearly. And at the first half of the season, the defense was carrying the offense, right? Jimmy G was playing like Jimmy G. He was okay. Some games he was above average, some games he was average, and the defense was really leading this team. And now, when since Brock Purdy has been inserted as a starting quarterback, I feel like the offense is kind of taking that approach, and they are leading the team. They're right now, they're better than the defense. I'm sure we'll get into that shortly, but I feel like the offense right now is winning games when we don't have to necessarily rely on the defense, right? The defense obviously made great stops on Saturday's game, and we'll get into that. But the defense doesn't have to, basically be perfect. And that's what we saw in the first half of the season. The defense basically had to be perfect. Don't allow double digits, or else, we can't keep up with the other squad. So Brock Purdy has made a huge difference on this team, and he's a playmaker, he's a baller. And it's just great to see, and what a wonderful story this is. And hopefully it keeps up. Hopefully this run continues in the playoffs. Obviously, I think the guy who stood out to me yesterday, you can go with a lot of names, but I like CMC. I still think that's like the greatest trade in 49ers history in season to pick up.
Mhm.
I mean, I know he didn't make the Pro Bowl, right? He didn't. No, he did
He
not make
got
the Pro Bowl.
robbed.
Yeah, he got robbed, right? So to
It's
pick up a
good.
Pro Bowl, All Pro caliber player, in the middle of the season, this guy still has years on his contract. I mean, how can we not praise John Lynch right now? I mean, what an incredible trade that is. Basically, we're undefeated when he's starting. So obviously, he's made a huge difference on the squad. And as Barry Baller mentioned earlier, I think he had 117 rushing yards, and he and Brock Purdy have been, of course, the big differences on the squad compared to, Jimmy G and when Elijah Mitchell was in there. And I like to think that we have the best running back tandem that's left in the playoffs. I know some other teams think that, hey, they like their guys, but we like our guys as well. So CMC makes a huge difference on this squad. It's always fun. It's just fun to see this team, healthy, motivated at the right point in the season. And like Barry Baller said, after, I think his name Jonathan Abram, I think he
Yeah.
used to play for the Raiders.
Yeah.
After he kind of pulled on Debo's ankle, it kind of sparked something. Even Kyle Shanahan was hot. I don't remember the last time I saw a head coach go on the field, and he actually bumped into some players. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
he
guys
did.
saw that, but
I seen
Shanahan
that.
was hot. So so
Yeah,
that was crazy.
he yoked up on somebody. I seen it.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
got a little shoulder in there on somebody. I was
yeah.
like, oh. But hey
Absolutely.
man, yeah man, it's hey, that was I did the game live, the play by play, and I was like, thank you. I think it was number 23, and you just said
Yeah,
his name,
Jonathan Abram.
Abram.
Yeah,
I was like, thank you, 23. You just woke it up. You
yeah,
just woke it up. You just woke the monster up. It's on and cracking now, and sure enough. Hey man, that was a huge momentum swing.
yeah, yeah.
And just
Huge.
just off the hook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
huge momentum swing. I think it kind of woke up the Niners. I mean, I thought the Niners in the first half, I thought they played solid. Obviously Brock was a little off in the first half. I don't know if it was just the playoff jitters or whatnot, but we were
Well, that
obviously, it was
first
the game.
pass, Jay, I saw him in the post game. He said,
Yeah.
"Hey,
Yeah.
no excuses, but the
It
ball
was
was wet. The ball
yeah.
slipped a little bit because that
Mm.
first throw, I was like, how did he
Yeah,
miss that by
he
it
missed
looked
Yeah.
that
like
by a wide
That,
margin.
15 yards?"
Yeah.
But he did say wet ball, and at the start of that game, from what I saw, it looked like the heaviest rain that I saw throughout the whole thing was like
Mm.
that first 49er offensive possession when they zoomed in. You saw it coming down pretty good.
Right.
So that's what he chalked that first throw up to.
Hey, and that's legit. That's the weather. It is what it is. What was funny to me was Shanahan didn't really run the ball that much in the first half, which was interesting. But I think it goes to the Brock Purdy versus number 10. Like, Shanahan believes in Brock Purdy. He believes that Brock Purdy can make the throws, and he's not going to take the ball away from Brock Purdy, even when hey, the weather conditions were what they were. He looked a little shaky, whatever. He was a little inaccurate. Shanahan still believed in him, and that's something
That's
that
a great point, Jay. That I
hadn't really
wrote
seen
that
in
down.
Jim. Yeah,
The game plan was to sling the ball. They were
yeah,
slinging
oh,
the rock. They knew the Seahawks were going to come out in a a run heavy for kind of loading the box to stop the run. And they say, hey, you know what? We trust
Okay.
Brock to get the ball to these open receivers
Right.
downfield. And that's when we saw these chunk plays. How many chunk plays did we see in this game? It's so refreshing, right? When 10 was back there, we have all these 15, 18 play drives, right? Where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
3 yard run, 4 yard run, little check down pass. And it's like, it's hard. Now we're getting chunk plays, and the offense was moving smoothly.
Yeah. No, no doubt.
Yeah,
No doubt. And I think this.
that's a great point by you, Jay, about Kyle trusting Brock Purdy, and you look at obviously the past couple of seasons, right? Not only just from the quarterback's perspective, but also from the defense. That the defense has really been the strong point. And when the Niners have had these runs where they're going where they go on win streaks or in the playoffs, the year that the Niners made the Super Bowl, that was mainly led by the defense, and the defense really, drove the bus during those playoff runs. Where even if you look at now in this whole run that the Niners have been going on, a lot of the games you could look at and you could be like, you know what, the defense struggled in some of these games, but who made up for the lack of, who made up for the, the defense's struggles? It's been the offense, and credit to Brock Purdy for that. And especially in a game, you look at, in a game where it's raining and it's raining at Levi Stadium with number 10, or even a lot of teams, they would run the football. They'd be like, we're going to pound the football down your throat, because it's hard to throw a football in those conditions for any quarterback, right? Mahomes, Josh Allen, whoever it might be. It's hard to throw the quarterback in the rain. It's obviously not, an easy task. And a lot of offensive coordinators or head coaches, their game plan or their mindset in the game, probably for that, specific game, would be to run the football. But that just shows you how much confidence Kyle Shanahan has in Brock Purdy, who's a young guy, and he trusts Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy has shown you, the consistency where he gets the ball to his receivers on time. He makes good decisions. He'll make one or two plays per game. And the biggest thing is he won't turn over the football. So when you look at, all the games that Brock Purdy has played, he's shown you the ability to do that. So, when you look at this game in specific, obviously Kyle Shanahan, it's unusual, when we've seen number 10 under center, for him to, throw the football a lot and trust and rely on his quarterback to make plays and make throws in order to win the football game. Where, with Brock Purdy, he is doing that. And credit to Brock Purdy, because he's handling it really well.